Hello there, thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10. The top stories this hour.
Tribunal orders INEC to allow PDP access to materials used in presidential poll. President
Muhammadu Buhari calls on Nigerians to turn out en masse for Saturday's election.
Outside Nigeria, strike grounds flights at Kenya's main international airport with hundreds stranded.
And in sports, Super Falcons beat Thailand 3-0 in Cyprus Invitational Tournament. Details coming up.
Thanks for joining us. The People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate have made progress in their challenge of the February 23rd presidential election.
Indeed. Now, at the appeal court today, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal granted the party and Atiku Abubakar permission to inspect the materials used in conducting the vote. TVC News' Celestina Area has details.
The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, had filed an ex parte motion at the Court of Appeal in Abuja, sitting as a Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. He was seeking for various orders of the court to allow him access to all documents used by INEC for the conduct of the presidential election. Delivering ruling on the ex parte motion, a three-man panel led by Justice Adu Aboki ordered INEC to make available all documents and electoral materials used for the election for the purpose of inspection to enable the applicant institute his petition. But the court refused the applicant's prayers for scanning and forensic analysis of the election materials, stating that as stipulated by law, Section 151, subsection 1 and 2 of the Electoral Act only allows for inspection of the materials.
No, it's just leave. It's order for inspection of document, which is the first step in election petition. And today, the Court of Appeal, sitting as the Presidential Election Tribunal, has granted us that order to inspect documents that INEC used in conducting the election.
What is important is that prayer 1 and 2 are very important reliefs, and they were granted.
Atiku Abubakar had scored over 11 million votes to emerge second in the February 23rd presidential election, as against the 15 million votes declared by INEC for President Muhammadu Buhari of the APC. Atiku has indicated his desire to challenge the conduct and the outcome of the election at the tribunal on the grounds that the polls were heavily manipulated and rigged in favor of the declared winner. Celestina Area, TVC News, Abuja.
Away from the court now, President Muhammadu Buhari has now called on all Nigerians to shun electoral violence and malpractices ahead Saturday's governorship and state houses of assembly elections. In his pre-election speech, the president urged the people to turn out in large numbers to exercise their civic rights.
The second and final phase of the 2019 general elections comes up on Saturday, March 9th, with Nigerians voting for governors and members of the houses of assembly in the states. Let me once again extend my condolences to the families of those who lost their lives or sustained injuries as a result of accidents or criminal violence during the elections. The onus is once again on qualified people to turn out in large numbers to exercise their civic rights. With the presidential poll behind us, let us not become complacent and fail to vote in the gubernatorial poll. The forthcoming elections are as important for good governance as that of the presidency and the National Assembly. Indeed, governance at the state level is closer to us and should touch our lives more directly. That is why it is vital for us to participate in the choice of who governs us at the state level. I, therefore, urge you to troop out massively on Saturday to elect your governors and state lawmakers. As a member of All Progressive Congress, I recommend those standing on the platform of the party to you, as we are guided by progressive ideals, and we will not disappoint you. Equally, I urge you to comport yourself properly as you turn out for the election. Avoid all deviant behaviors like ballot stuffing, ballot snatching, and any other action that does not conform with best electoral practices. I assure you that the security agencies will be on hand to protect voters and ensure that the process is not undermined in any way. Let us make the gubernatorial polls much better than the presidential, which local and international observers have adjudged to be free and fair. May I repeat my appeal to our young people. Do not allow yourselves to be used to cause violence or to break the law or otherwise disturb the peace. I have pledged decent and credible electoral system for our country. I stand by that promise. Let us together do the right thing on Saturday so that the best hands can emerge as a state and take us faster to the next level. Thank you, and God bless our country.
Now, unfortunately, President Buhari's political party, the All Progressives Congress, may not field a governorship candidate in Taraba State in the Saturday's election. This is because a federal high court has disqualified its candidate, Sani Danladi, for falsifying his age in documents submitted to the electoral body. Olabi Adenusi's story is now presented from our studios.
Taraba State chapter of All Progressives Congress is mobilizing its teeming supporters for the party's gubernatorial victory on Saturday. The party says it will not be rattled by the court's ruling that disqualified its candidate on age falsification. The party chairman Ibrahim El Sudi Tuko insists that Sani Danladi will contest as the party would appeal against what he described as a mischievous and comical judgment.
We wish our teaming supporters to note that this issue had been taken to court in the year 2007 and was subsequently dismissed by the appeal court. It should also be noted that all judgments passed by the appeal court supersedes those of the lower court in the whole country.
But I can assure you, as at now that I speak with you, nobody knows who went to court to challenge this. But in any case, we have no problem, and I can assure you the Court of Appeal, by the special grace of God, since it has trashed the matter before now, it will, grant our stay, our application for stay of execution. And here we go. What they are afraid of, they cannot go run away from it.
Taraba State Commissioner of Police and the INEC Resident Commissioner say Mr. Danladi remains APC candidate except as he documented directives contrary to that.
I am hearing it for the first time. I never heard it. So once this is a true story, there is a definite procedure to be followed. It's not here in the state INEC. The court order will go to the INEC headquarters, and the INEC headquarters will do the needful.
That court announcement has not come to me yet. I had it. But with or without court announcement or judgment, we have been patrolling the whole state command for over 1 week. And we are going to continue patrolling.
Political watchers believe that the judgment may affect the morale of APC supporters in Taraba State.
Well, the situation is different from the APC in Kaduna State, where the party has held a thank you rally as it gets set for Saturday. On the flip side, the People's Democratic Party in the state is in court, battling the arrest and detention of its spokesperson by the Department of State Services. Tessa Makande brings us details.
members of the All Progressives Congress at the Ranchers Beast Stadium in Kaduna. They are here on the invitation of wives of the state governor. The wives are thankful at the turnout for the presidential election. But they say it's not over yet and urge this large gathering to vote for their husbands this Saturday.
More importantly, so that we can request that they please make the voter turnout in the forthcoming elections for Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai.
We also want to call on them to come out en masse as they did in the first election of the president, so as to show support for Malam Nasir El-Rufai.
Their husband, the governor, then arrives. El-Rufai joins them on stage dancing and soliciting for votes on Saturday. Elsewhere, the People's Democratic Party is in court with the government. Spokesperson of their campaign council, Ben Bako, was picked by the Department of State Services for allegedly making inciting comments during the campaign. He has remained under custody for over 20 days. It's a move lawyers of the party describe as unlawful.
He's a politician.
The judge told the court that DSS has filed a case against Ben Bako at an Abuja court, and for him, that should be tackled first before coming to him.
The DSS came with an affidavit and information to the effect that the matter is before another court already. Nobody knew that they had filed anything in Abuja, but it is important to say that a Nigerian citizen has been kept in custody for 25 days without trial, without any recourse to or order from a court. And it's sad, as I speak to you, the lawyers, the family have been denied access to the applicant.
It's days to the governorship election in the state, like several others across the country. Beyond all, the people are clamoring for peace before, during and after the election. Tessim Akende, TVC News, Kaduna.
Coming up on TVC News at 10.
Vice President Amuwo Odofin insists election in Ogun State will be free of violence.
Plus, security agencies carry out exercise in preparation for Saturday's general election. More details in a moment. Glad to have you back on TVC News at 10. Now, one of the states that would be most watched as elections take place on Saturday is Ogun.
And that's right. The Vice President Amuwo Odofin has come out now to urge residents to expect a peaceful vote. It was at an APC rally in Abeokuta. TVC News' Kazeem Olowe has the details.
Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, was agog as the Vice President Amuwo Odofin led the All Progressives Congress governorship campaign program to the ancient city. Amid cheers by party supporters, the Vice President and other chieftains of the All Progressives Congress moved around the city to promote the candidate of the party. The Vice President, who spoke in Yoruba language, appealed to residents not to entertain any fear of possible violence during Saturday's election.
We have heard some people saying there will be violence on Saturday. Perhaps people won't be able to come out and exercise their rights. Let me assure you that security is the federal government's business, and the federal government will be fully in charge. There will be maximum security to the extent that there won't be room for anybody to unleash violence.
One of the notable politicians in the state, Kayode Amuwo of the People's Democratic Party, also dumped his political party.
I could see the PPP arrangement on the, build, operate and transfer arrangement on the railway that has just been built coming from Lagos to Abeokuta within a scope of 9 months. For that singular reason, I have decided in my mind to cross over and become part of the wheel of progress.
Now I've defected to APC, and the simple reason is because you go to where you are being valued. I did a lot of work in Ogun East, which on record happened to be the greatest work ever done in Ogun East. And the people that value that work invited me to join APC, and that's why I'm here.
There's no doubt that these people have spoken. We can feel it. It's palpable. You can see that people are waiting. They can't even wait till Saturday to vote. My prayer is that Saturday comes and people will have the right to exercise their votes. And the VP said it several times, that for those that have been threatening to use thugs and unleash violence, that they should forget it, because it is the federal government that has the power over the security agency. So that's very comforting.
Dapo Abiodun also thanked the people of the state for their show of love and urged them to go out and vote massively for the All Progressives Congress on March the 9th, 2019. Kazim Olowe, TVC News, Abeokuta, Ogun State.
Away from Ogun now to Lagos State, where the national leader of the APC, Bola Tinubu, is optimistic of victory for his party in the state. At a meeting at the party secretariat, the APC leader called on members to be civil and not cause trouble before, during and after the vote.
Those people with level of confidence and level of support, those of us with that level of confidence, we trust that we are not going to fight. We trust, we assure you, we are going to beat our opponent by at the polls. Definitely, there is no need for violence. When you are confident you're going to win, you don't disrupt the vote. So, don't mind them, even when they provoke you. Don't pay them any attention.
And still in Lagos, residents of Amuwo Odofin have been urged to cast their votes for APC candidates in the state. TVC News correspondent Abimbola Agbebi has more.
Residents of Amuwo Odofin came out on the streets in large numbers, pledging their support for the representative in the House of Assembly, Honorable Akim Bello. He is presently seeking to be re-elected into office in the March night polls. They moved from one community to another, sensitizing the people on the need to come out on election day to vote for the All Progressives Congress.
We are doing rally for AK Bello and our incoming governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, come 9th of March, which we are going to carry the victory.
This party believes in progression because we are a progressive party. And every single development you have seen in this place has been because we are a progressive trade. Right now, Akim Bello, that have been with us, has recognized the grassroots. As at this point I'm talking to you right now, if you hear what they call Akim Bello, you hear what they call too sure. Let us see, that means one more time for someone that don't want 4+4. That's what they're having here.
Waving the party symbol, Akim Bello took time to reassure his constituents on his determination to bring dividends of democracy to the community through the instrument of the law, if given another opportunity to serve.
What we are seeing today, it has never happened in history, but I'm trying to create a very wonderful rally for the good people of my constituency and the party at large. Vote for APC, vote for Honorable Babajide Sanwo-Olu, vote for Honorable Akim Bello. Come March 9, 2019.
Residents in the area say they are optimistic about the exercise. Abimbola Agbebi, TVC News, Lagos.
We're still in Lagos, where the state chapter of the Coalition of United Political Parties has adopted the candidate of the African Democratic Party, Babatunde Gbadamosi, as its consensus candidate in Saturday's governorship election. Correspondent Theophilus Elama has more in this report.
As Nigerians prepare for the governorship election this weekend, political parties are making last-ditch efforts to canvass for votes. This time, the Coalition of United Political Parties Lagos State chapter has taken the bull by the horn and endorsed the governorship candidate of the African Democratic Party ADP, Babatunde Gbadamosi, as its candidate of choice.
The outcome of the 2019 presidential elections last month has further confirmed the fears of many Nigerians for the future unity and well-being of the nation under our present crop of leaders. To this end, we members of the CPP in Lagos State have determined to endorse Mr. Babatunde Olalere Gbadamosi, BOG, of the Action Democratic Party as our consensus governorship candidate of Lagos State for the 2019 general elections.
I'm happy that in Lagos, obviously, I'm the beneficiary. I'm very happy at that. And I hope to be able to carry the aspirations of all the political parties that have adopted me, including the PDP, forward into the elections. Because, frankly, you know, enough should be enough in Lagos.
The coalition outlines the grounds on which it based its decision.
Plus, of course, there's the issue of power, electricity, there's the issue of water, you know, the basics. What other countries consider the basics, we've turned into rocket science in Lagos State. And that has to come to an end at some point. And I hope that that point will be Saturday.
They are optimistic that despite the fact that the election is very close, there are structures in place to ensure total victory at the polls.
We have the electoral factors who will deliver the message. All nooks and crannies, all villages, every part of Lagos. And with God on our side, we believe we shall make it.
Saturday's governorship election is set to be a milestone in the political terrain of Lagos. The three main political parties are slugging it out, each making efforts to sell their manifestos and take the victory. Theophilus Elama, TVC News, Lagos.
Away from Lagos, but still on election matters, security forces have carried out a show of force in Gombe State as they prepare for Saturday's elections there. TVC's Larry Adeyemi tells us more.
Are we ready? Yes, sir. Are we ready? Yes, sir.
Security agencies in Gombe State are responding in force to recent incidents of electoral violence around the state. Residents are being gripped by fear following increasing activities of hoodlums and clashes between supporters of different political parties. The security agencies are determined to prevent a breakdown of law and order during and after the elections.
Considering what happened, we're making plans to ensure that there won't be a recurrence. And in case there is anything like that, we are ready because the acting IGP in his magnanimity had added more manpower to me and actually as an added strength. So we have mapped out our strategies because we are committed to give the needed security to ensure that the election is free, peaceful and credible.
Religious leaders and traditional rulers have also joined the call for peace. They urge political actors to see elections as a contest for service and not an end in itself.
Election is not a do or die affair, we should know that. And whatever we have to do to make sure that we maintain peace is all that we discuss today. Of course, if anybody wins, he will go home smiling, and if anybody loses, let him accept that it's the will of God. So we must, as a people, maintain the peaceful coexistence we have enjoyed in Gombe State.
Gombe has witnessed several incidents of violence, which has led to an atmosphere of anxiety. Security agencies, through the show of force, wants to reassure residents of their preparedness to enforce peace. Lanre Adeyemi, TVC News, Gombe.
Still ahead on TVC News at 10.
We'll tell you the story of a little girl who was allegedly defiled and whose parents are being pressured not to pursue justice. That story and more will come your way in a moment.
Glad to have you back. It's less than 24 hours since the West Africa Examination Council announced the release of the 2019 West African Senior School Certificate Examination for private candidates.
Indeed. Now, correspondent Sharon Ijason finds out what is new.
It's the second edition of the new diet of the West African Senior School Certificate Examination. Head of National Office WAEC says this diet is introduced to reduce to the barest minimum the number of candidates who would want to participate in examination malpractice. He, however, evaluated the performance of candidates of this examination.
When candidates write that exam, they will have their result very quickly processed and certificate released. To let them know also that those who are not in the regular school system need not fight over trying to write the one that is meant for school candidate. So we have this diet that is coming, 2-3 months before the school exam is coming, and 2-3 months after the school exam, we also have another diet for private candidates. These are just to let Nigerians know and to make education more accessible to those who may not have a point to be in regular school.
We are suffering from certification syndrome when it comes to employment or when it comes to engagement of minds in activities that can hand them their livelihoods. Until Nigeria address the issue of certification and pay more attention on skills and individual ability, we may not get the issue of our education right.
According to WAEC, a total of 12,202 candidates registered for the examination. 11,892 sat for the examination. 8,782 candidates obtained credit and above in 2 subjects. 7,332 candidates obtained credit and above in 3 subjects. 5,850 candidates obtained credit and above in 4 subjects. 4,314 candidates obtained credit and above in 5 subjects. 3,102 candidates obtained credit and above in a minimum of 5 subjects, including English language and general mathematics.
Candidates who sat for the examination can now check details of their performance on the council's website. But many educationists are still concerned about the number of results withheld by WAEC, despite the strategy WAEC has adopted to reduce examination malpractice. Sharon Ijason, TVC News, Lagos.
Well, child rights advocates are calling for justice for little Hannah, who was defiled at the age of 5 just last year. Now, there is a suspect, but Hannah's parents are being pressured into dropping the case by the same people who should be getting her justice. Jacqueline Ogo has details.
What could possibly be sexually enticing about a 5-year-old girl that would make a full-grown man want to defile her sexually? That big question is the reason why the parents of 6-year-old Hannah, defiled at the age of 5, want justice. Little Hannah was left with the landlady in August last year by her mom for about an hour as she quickly dashed out to get something done. But before she got back, Hannah was allegedly violated by the landlady's 23-year-old son, as Hannah now tells me in her own small voice. The landlady allegedly said her son was innocent and Hannah was lying. Hannah's mom contacted her stepfather and the case was lodged at Ikotun police station. They have been going back and forth the station with the police allegedly telling them to drop the case since they are poor.
I wanted to give her a bath and she started shouting that she was having some pepperish pain in her private part. When I looked underneath, I saw she had been violated. She told me to keep quiet, that Brother Sukomi said if she tells anyone, he would kill her.
The suspect, Sukomi Akinsheson, allegedly absconded since August last year and was only found last week. On his arrest, the police said the case would have to be transferred to Zone 2 Police Division, Lagos, when the parents of the girl were hoping, now that the suspect has been found, the case would go to court. I reached out to the police public relations officer as at the time of this report for her reaction. She said she was too busy to respond. I will follow up on her side of the matter. Hannah's stepfather, who was allegedly beaten by the landlady's children for seeking justice, is calling for help.
because they have money more than me. They feel like I can cover this case, and I need lawyers to help me, and they should help me fight for my case because of my daughter. Because these people, they're ready to kill me.
Child rights protectors want Nigerians to rise up in support of little Hannah to get justice.
The survivor has been taken to Mirabel Medical Center for medical checkup, where we check for rape victims, and it has been discovered that the survivor was defiled both in the vagina and in the anus. So the next is just to charge the case to court.
If you stand for children in this country, stand up and fight for this little girl of 6 years old. The case has refused to go to court.
Jacqueline Ogo, TVC News, Lagos.
Some heartrending story there. Away from Nigeria now to Kenya, where hundreds of passengers were struck at the country's main international airport today after a strike caused major disruption to flights. Picketing staff at odds with Kenya Airways protested outside the airport before being dispersed by riot police. The workers are unhappy about plans to merge the airport authority and the national airline. The government has, however, condemned the planned strike, which had earlier been ordered to be suspended by a court injunction.
It is called sabotage. It is called economic sabotage. It is something which cannot be tolerated. It is criminal activity. And that's why you found the security agencies are here. They managed to chase away everybody who was bringing trouble.
Maritime operators want an overhaul of the policies in their sector. You get details of that story and more in Business News with Musolami Tuashi in just a moment.
Hello and welcome. Let us do some business. Now that you're still alive, estate planning experts in Nigeria want you to prepare a will before you die, and they have a technological solution for that. They say it is important that individuals put safeguards in place while they still can to avoid creating problems after their demise. Tolulokwe Ogunjobi tells us more.
How my mom died shortly before her 60th birthday. We expected her to outlive my dad, and she had no will. She always told us how we needed to plan for the future, but she actually didn't conclude that plan by having a will. And
Toludima Okoje lost her mom years ago, but she left her and her siblings without a will. Having a will is probably one of the most important things an individual can do for himself and his family. A will is a legal document conveying the wishes of its author's estate in the event of death. Estate planning experts have now introduced technology that could make it easier to write a will and save their families from challenges of dying intestate.
It is wickedness for you not to have a plan, and you have children you're sending to school. You drop dead, something happens to you, you have an accident, there is no plan for their education. It's too sad. The fact that it's technology enabled, I mean, if you think about it, if you can spend 10 minutes on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, then you can spend 5-10 minutes, planning for your family's future, for yourself.
We've been faced with several issues in the society. The fact that people are scared to talk about having a will in place, the family structures we have here in Nigeria, and how situations where you have the breadwinner passing on and extended family members coming to just take everything that the beneficiaries of the deceased person would have enjoyed. And we looked at it and we decided we were going to bring a solution to these issues in our society. Is it a will?
Others say nothing can be said to be as certain in life except death and taxes. Hence, making a will is not about planning for death, but ensuring that one's loved ones are adequately protected.
Doctors and medical technology or whatever, they have worked so hard. In spite of this, mortality rate is still at 100%. So we all will die. And if we are going to die, the best you can do, or the least you can do, is to arrange your affairs, put in place whatever needs to be put in place. So you then need to reflect upon your circumstances and consciously make those arrangements.
It is hoped that the introduction of this innovation will provide the needed sensitization to make more Nigerians write wills. Tolulokwe Ogunjobi, TVC News, Lagos.
Now to maritime now, where operators want an overhaul of the sector's trade policies. They're urging government to deploy new strategies in poor trade policy in order to drive tangible national development plan and economic growth. Ifunanya Eze tells us more.
Trade policies are meant to discourage dumping, support import substitution, as well as conserve foreign exchange and generate revenue for government. But port users are saying that some policies on traded goods in the country are not given the desired prominence in the overall development strategy. They argue that policies on some restricted goods actually fuel smuggling.
The base of economy is the trade. The GDP of the nation is measured by the level of activities among the informal traders. The concept of this restriction on rice has to do with the mantra of encouraging local manufacture. That's all right. There's nothing wrong about that. That is what government should do to protect the economy. But these are trade-related matters. If we are sure we have started producing rice, then straight ahead ban importation of rice.
They contend that the government and importers are losing money to customs' continuous seizures.
If you get down the entire system, you see that the economy is continuously going down. Going down in the sense that look at the level of seizures that the customs are making. Do you know when these things happen that the economy is going down? You get down to all the ports of the customs, either Papa Tinkan, Browal, PTML, One, and the rest of them. Then you see FOU, Owerri, Lagos, and you look at the volume of cargo there. These are traded goods. These are economic issues.
I will advise the government to look into the tariff increment and all that to enable them get a maximum duty and maximum cooperation from people. If anybody caught in doing this, he will pay dearly for it. So when relaxing some of this tariff to come down a bit, people will be, the Nigerian economy will boom. Things will go well. People won't think more of cheating governments.
Trade policies are expected to enhance the linkages in the country's domestic economy. Ifunanya Eze, TVC News, Lagos.
All right, it is midweek trade today, and the Nigerian stock market got down following investors' interest to take profits from rising prices. Effiong Ekob has more.
The big oil company, Seplat, brought its 2018 financials to the stock markets today, but investment managers were surprised at the low margin of profits after tax. Seplat, a Nigerian oil firm, is listed at the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the London Stock Exchange. Earning per share dropped from 141 naira to 77 naira in 2018. And on the floor, trade patterns were low, leaving medium-cap securities with average gains. Jais Bank led with 5%, followed by Access and 3 other firms. On the other hand, Cement Company of Northern Nigeria suffered the heaviest price loss. The volume of business declined to 208 million shares. And we should also inform you that shareholders of Access Bank and Diamond Bank have now given the management of the two banks approval to go ahead with the planned measure. Effiong Ekob, TVC News at the Stock Exchange.
Very well. It's a wrap from this end. It's nice doing business with you, but still ahead on the news, matches in the UEFA Champions League are still on, and when we return, we'll give you more on that with Nia Ekuri. Stay with us.
The Super Falcons ended their participation at the Cyprus Women's Cup on a positive note, following a 3-0 victory against Thailand at the Tassos Maku Stadium. The reigning African champions finished the competition in 7th position following the win against the Asians. The Falcons used the invitational tournament to prepare for the FIFA Women's World Cup in France. They will play host France, Norway and Korea Republic in the first round of the World Cup. Former Super Eagles goalkeeper Dusu Joseph says the international friendly match against the Pharaohs of Egypt and the Nations Cup qualifier against Seychelles will help the Super Eagles prepare for the Nations Cup tournament. Dusu has no objection to the squad list announced a few days ago, but urged the Eagles manager Garnet Rowe to make use of the two matches to discover new players and try out new tactics and formation for the team. Nigeria hosts Seychelles in their final match of the AFCON qualifying campaign on the 22nd of March before playing Egypt in a friendly game 4 days later. Former Real Madrid manager Jose Mourinho says he would be open to a return to the club he managed between 2010 and 2013. Real's current head coach Santiago Solari is under pressure at the Santiago Bernabeu after losing back-to-back games against Barcelona and also knocked out of the Champions League by Ajax Amsterdam. Mourinho is the favourite to take over from Solari, and it discussed a potential second spell as manager during a recent appearance as a TV pundit. African junior champion in the 100 meters, Kelechi Christian, is yet to decide whether to switch allegiance to Nigeria. The 19-year-old has represented Zimbabwe at junior level and won laurels for the South African country. She spoke exclusively to TVC News about her career decisions.
Zimbabwe sensation Kelechi Christian is currently attached to the Making of Champions Athletics Club in Nigeria. In 2017, the Anambra State indigene won a gold medal in the 100 meters and a bronze medal in the 200 meters event of the Africa Junior Championship while representing Zimbabwe.
2017 African Junior Champs was a very great experience for me. I came back with a gold, a silver and a bronze in that order, but it was quite challenging. Although we weren't there to get a medal, we were just there to see how it feels to finally participate at the African Junior Champs and just get the experience of my life. But when I came out with the medal, my coach was really proud of me.
There have been concerns about Nigeria producing good sprinters at the international stage, especially athletics, in the mode of Blessing Okagbari. But at age 20, with Kelechi undecided over her future, Nigeria could miss out on another promising talent.
If Nigeria does call me up to run for them, I would be really grateful. But right now, I'm not really searching to see if I'm going to run for Nigeria or Zimbabwe. I'm just hoping to work hard and see if my time gets up to the standards where Nigeria and Zimbabwe are looking for me. Then I'll just ask God to tell me which country to run for.
At the Making of Champions, she's guided by former Nigerian athletes Deji Aliu and Gloria Alozie, who later nationalized to represent Spain.
We have a slogan here, and that is what I'm still going to use. We don't talk much. So with the training, the kind of training she's receiving, she is promising and she has learned a lot of things. So in the nearest future, everybody will see that, all the training she has done is going to come out in the open.
Former Nigerian athlete and now coach Deji Aliu is worried about the bad state of athletics in the country. Deji, who won the 100 meters gold at the All-African Games in 2003, has condemned the continuous decline of sports and urged the Athletics Federation of Nigeria to wake up to its duties. In his views, Nigeria has lost its place as the best in sprints in Africa. He wants sport authorities to employ strategies that would help the development of Nigerian sports.
The first step should be the management aspect of it. I mean, it's not like we don't have the talent. Like I said, the talents are bound. They are everywhere. We have a lot of talent. In fact, a lot of talent in every state of the federation. But the problem has always been management. And right now, we are at a situation right now that if we don't, improve on our management of athletes, organization-wise, and every other little area that we feel are not important, even though the talents are out there, we will not be able to harness them because we will not be able to identify them, talk less of training them to make them a better athlete. Because management-wise right now, we are nowhere.
World news just reaching us from the ongoing UEFA Champions League encounter at the Parc des Princes between Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester United has it that Marcus Rashford has given Manchester United the needed results, which means United lead 3-1. And should the results stand this way, United will be through to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League tournament. That's 3-3 on aggregate. 2-0. Paris Saint-Germain won at Old Trafford. It's now 3-3. James Harden scored 35 points, including 19 in the fourth quarter, as the Houston Rockets gave up a 22-point lead before rallying late to beat the Toronto Raptors. Gerard Green added 18 points for the Rockets. Eric Govell and Austin Rivers added 13 points each for the Rockets, while Kawhi Leonard led Toronto with 26 points. Harden's jump shot with 2.5 seconds remaining extended the lead to 13 and ensured there was no way back for Toronto.
As a left-hander, he's creating so much space. And we talk about the step back, but the sides
of credit to Houston, once again contesting everything, making things difficult for these Raptors on the offensive side.
Step back hard, and that's a deep, deep money ball. I'm still awake. Step back, step to the side. I think it's in shooter's paradise. And James with the floater in the block. 107.
It's still 3-1, scoreline at the Parc des Princes, Manchester United leading 3-1 and a cheering result for Manchester United fans. It's back to the duo of Nifemi and Azizat.
Fantastic job indeed for Man U.
You're very happy. I knew you were going to say it. And anyway, congratulations to Manchester United. Let's see how it ends. Now, to other news, Christians in Nigeria today joined their counterparts all over the world to commence Lent with the symbolic Ash Wednesday.
Senior correspondent Ivy Kanu reports.
Though a working day, parishioners filled the church auditorium to get the cross sign with the ash. So one after the other, their forehead was marked. For those here, the fasting period will be time of intense prayer, abstinence, fasting, and almsgiving. The priest said the ash is a sign of repentance and a reminder that we all come from ash and will someday return to ash.
It's a period when we do corporate penance, corporate penitence. It's a time we try to get closer to God through prayer, through fasting, and through almsgiving.
He pointed out those who are exempted from the 40-day fast.
Once you don't have the health to do it, you fast from sin. The church doesn't, for those who are pregnant, those who have a challenge, they are exempted.
Others spoke on importance to their faith.
This is a period of deeper reflection into our faith, our role in life, and our focus on afterlife too.
And it also reminds us that we need to forgive people, because if God can forgive our sins after all He suffered for us and all we do is still forgives our sins, it reminds us to also forgive others.
As a grandmother, it's very important to me. I'm so happy that this day I have a grandson celebrating Ash Wednesday with us.
Ash Wednesday usually for Christians is the season for fasting. This is the day they start the official 40 days fasting before Easter. The ash is gotten from the burning of palms collected during Palm Sunday and mixed with holy water. Ivy Kano, TVC News, Lagos.
I can smell Easter already.
Yes, indeed. And it's a fasting period also.
Indeed. Well, good luck to the Christians there. And with that, we wrap it up on TVC News at 10. Remember, you can get updates on our website. It's tvcnews.tv. Follow us on all social media platforms. You're on Instagram, Facebook, and also Twitter. Our handle is at TVC News NG for all the latest stories around the world. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.